Hi, everyone. Okay, so at the bottom of the deck is the moon card, and I'm not surprised because I feel like that full moon that happened, almost 10 days ago, a week ago, is still influencing the situation. I think it's fading away, but this is like a subconscious card or something underlying that's influencing things, and I really feel like that energy is still here. It was for me, it was a full moon, and I'm just going by what I feel, not by astrology, that was really bringing things to a head. And it was sort of like something needed to release, it just couldn't hold together anymore. It was like a balloon that was being blown up, and it just finally got to a point where the capacity was of air, and it was too much, and the balloon broke. And so we're dealing with that sort of um, the aftermath of that energy, and it's still lingering somewhat. So I'm going to put that down here as a foundation card. So in the recent past, this would have been potentially in focus not too long ago, is the Six of Shields or the Six of Pentacles, depending on what deck you have. This is a card, it's a balance card. We also have the Justice card on the table too. It's a card about mixing and matching, trying to even things out, trying to make sure that one person isn't always giving and one person always receiving, and things like that. So that was also definitely, I can these cards are resonating with me. So in a workplace, this could be someone who's makes more excuses than they are productive. In a relationship, it could be someone who's kind of taking the other person for granted, or sort of assumes, oh, they always do that, so they must like doing it, and I'm just going to let them do it. So this can cause it's a positive card, but when it's imbalanced, um imbalanced, it can it can cause resentment and things to build up. And it's like that balloon I was talking about. And it just finally, boom, explodes. And it's like, now, wait a minute, this can't keep going on. And then, it could just cause a lot of conflict, because the person that was assuming the other person liked always taking the trash out, um, really wasn't doing that on purpose, and the other person is like, I can't believe you never help out around here, and all this resentment has built up. And you all know how that plays out. I don't have to tell you. So it's almost like some hard conversations happened recently, and in some way. And I mean, this could be with entire groups in a business, with individuals, in families, in relationships, at school, with teachers, or um, parents and teachers and students, whatever. It can really apply to lots of different places. But the energy came to a head, like, we need to talk, because we need to balance things out and figure things out. This can't go on any further. So what all this is about, the moon card is about emotions. What we want the most is to change how we feel emotionally. We don't want to feel resentment. We don't want to feel anxious. We don't want to feel badly. So we need to make some changes in our lives to in those areas. This isn't your entire life by any means. Things can be going great in almost all areas of your life, but there can be this one thing that's really stressing you out, or constantly um, causing conflict or frustration. And so it's that one part that's like, okay, I need that to change. It's contaminating, or metastasizing. I don't like to use cancer terms, but I work in oncology. It can spread. That one little thing on the peripheral can spread and into the rest of your life and cause just it can drain your energy and stuff from other parts of your life. So even though it may only be going on one part, it doesn't mean it's not affecting you sort of overall and everywhere. And this card is saying, I want that to change. I want to bring in good feelings. I want to heal these relationships. I want to address and fix this situation so everyone feels better about it. Everyone feels like they're being heard and they are validated and have an equal share in how it got to where it is and the solution. And it's coming. I mean, we have the Justice card, so this needed to happen. And if it still hasn't happened yet, this thing needs to be addressed. Ignoring it is not going to make it go away. I'm sorry, my hand is starting to hurt. And I've come to realize, as much as we want to just breathe and be zen about things and cool about things, there are some things you cannot zen your way through. You just can't sit there and we have to be careful about, I can only control what I can control and breathe and like I said, just zen your way through it. Some things can't be zen through. Some things need to be addressed and dealt with. And this is one of those times that has to happen. Things need to be addressed and brought back into balance and figured out and taken care of. And they will be. For some of you, I feel like I love this card because I love horses. Isn't that awesome? It's the Three of Wands. For some of you, this is something that's been going on for a very, very long time. And like in the Rider Waite version of this card, it's someone standing at the edge of an ocean, and it's about your ships coming in on the horizon. So something you've spent a lot of energy on, you're starting to see the rewards. You're starting to see the payback trickle in. It's a little different in this card. It's quite a different scene. They're checking the horse's teeth to make sure it's not older than the person who's selling the horse is claiming and things like that. It's about commerce. It's about work. It's about learning to work together. I think it's the Steampunk Tarot by Barbara Moore. In that book, I really liked what it said about this card, and it wasn't something I really thought about, is that, say a ship comes in with cargo that it's going to bring for you to buy or whatever. Say these horses got shipped in. Well, there's the farmer who cuts the hay that feeds the horses. There's the people that groom the horses. There's the breeders. There's the, you know what I mean? Like, no matter, you can apply this to anything. There are unbelievable amount of hands that touch a product, a situation, before it gets to you, and even if you're the creator, it often has to touch many, many people before your product or service gets to an end consumer. So it is about teamwork and working together and everyone pulling their weight. And again, this not only goes for the workplace, it even more so goes for relationships. And sometimes, you may need to sit down, and it could be with the whole family and not just your partner, and be like, I'm feeling right, wrong, or, my perception is I'm feeling like I'm carrying a bigger load than I should, or I want to just have a discussion about all the things that need to be done around here and sort of take an opportunity to divvy up the labor and see if, we can work together instead of feel like I'm always trying to get you to take the trash out and you're always trying to get me to put my glass in the dishwasher instead of putting it in the sink, and, those types of things. And then coming up, we do have that new beginning, this message of cups, of emotions, this is sort of the news of that change in how things feel and how we're doing coming in. So any work you've been doing to try to improve situations, even if they came to a big dramatic head recently, or will because you're finally putting your foot down or saying, I need to have a difficult conversation, it was worth it. It's not fun to have, and that's why people avoid it. People will stay in a marriage their whole life, miserable and happy because they're afraid of having the situation that might end the marriage, but it might also improve it. And instead, they just stay silent because they don't know how to have that difficult conversation. But we're having those. We're dealing with things, and here comes the communication back about how can I work with you? How can we work together? How can we start fresh, start new to bring about a different way things feel around here? And here are a couple overall cards. The Hierophant, Wisdom, and the Ace of Swords. Beautiful, another beautiful new beginning. So getting really clear about and focused and cutting away all the crap and bullshit. So in a way, cutting away all this emotion around the situation, like that's kind of what causes it to come to a head, and saying, okay, now what do we need to do? Let's pretend I'm pissed off, you're pissed off, you resent me, you feel like the martyr, I feel this way. Okay, we've all got it off our chest, right? We know we're all not happy quite with how things are working out at the moment. Okay, but how do we move forward? What are the practical, let's be analytical. I know you're pissed off. I hear you. So am I. But now let's channel that energy back together and figure out how we're going to move forward. And I think the amount of wisdom that's going to be gained from this situation is really going to carry through from now on and not be lost on everyone. And I really think the situation, even if it ends, even if a relationship ends, if a business partnership ends, or something like that, I still think everyone will have learned a really important lesson that they're not going to necessarily look back with anger and resentment. It's going to be like, well, that was not ideal, and I can see what I could have done better. I see what other people could have done better. I see, but I've learned from that, and I could move forward taking the wisdom and the experience from that situation and go forward and do better in the future. And I don't resent that situation happened. I understand why it happened, and I'm going to move forward and in a positive light. I'm not going to be holding on to resentment or anger, because I want to feel better emotionally. And so if I went through this whole thing because I wanted to make some changes and feel better emotionally, and then I go through the whole thing and sort of miss all the lessons and the opportunities that actually came about the situation, that's where it would be for naught. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you at the next video. Take care.